Hello and welcome to NASA Space Apps Challenge. The Trail to Mars. Can you keep your crew alive? We invite you to create a game that teaches the players about the challenges of human space exploration. What are the main hazards that will await astronauts in deep space, on the way to the Moon and then to Mars and beyond? Hazard 1. Space radiation. Mostly the particles that form galactic cosmic rays. They are created in supernovas and constantly flood the deep space. On Earth, we are protected from them by the Earth's magnetic field, but they will affect astronauts on their way to the Moon and to Mars. Space radiation can damage cells and their DNA, causing cancer, inflammation, and damage to the brain, the lungs, the heart, and other organs. We can reduce this damage by shielding, monitoring the doses, and developing new medications. Hazard 2. Isolation. As we all know very well from the ongoing pandemic, isolation is no fun. However, astronauts in deep space will experience much worse isolation than the harshest quarantine. In addition, they are likely to experience changes in sleep and what is called circadian rhythm, adaptation to day-night cycle, which on Earth is set by sunlight, but traveling farther away from the sun will get dysregulated. The ways to protect from the negative effects of isolation include both behavioral health and light therapy to help with sleep and circadian rhythm. Hazard 3. Distance from Earth. Space is big, very big. A round trip to Mars will take 3 years with no resupplies from Earth, so astronauts would better remember to take all the equipment they need. It will also be a problem if an astronaut gets sick. You can't just send them back to the doctor on Earth. The way to deal with this hazard is by extensive planning and by developing self-sufficiency. Hazard 4. Gravity fields. Gravity changes in space include both microgravity, or weightlessness in orbit, increased gravity during launch and landing, and partial gravity on the Moon and Mars. Our bodies have evolved to live in Earth's gravity. So what happens when that gravity changes? Prolonged weightlessness leads to bone loss, muscle loss, and damage to the heart and the blood vessels. Fortunately, we have already developed some ways to reduce that damage, mostly by exercising. Hazard 5. Hostile and closed environments. If the air on your spacecraft becomes too stuffy, you can't just open the window. This is why it is important to carefully maintain the environment inside the spacecraft. That involves temperature, pressure, oxygen, carbon dioxide concentrations, and so on. Any changes in the environment can affect astronaut health. In addition, spacecraft, like everything else, contains microorganisms, which are easier to transfer in a closed environment. How to reduce the risk from the hostile environment? By monitoring it and recycling all resources. But how to turn all this information into a game? Well, that is where you come in. You can train your crew, collect your equipment, and take off on your journey. You may start with the Moon, go straight to Mars, or even explore planets beyond the solar system. You may encounter unexpected dangers on your way, such as solar flares or broken equipment. Your garden may wilt, or your crew may get sick. But with creativity and determination, you will overcome all obstacles. We can't wait to see your games, and please contact us with any questions. Thank you very much for watching. I am Egle, and this is my crew.